I'm Chris Hayes, and thanks to Healthy Wexford, we're going to visit some of the many groups around Wexford involved in community growing of varying types. This Seeds to Success series will visit newly established gardens and ones that have been around for a long time. Come with us and discover these gems on your doorstep and be inspired for your own community.
We'll be very busy today. We're visiting one project that runs a total of 4 gardens. 3 of the gardens, Adamstown, Clonroche and Newbawn, are only a year old, while Raheen has been running for a long time. We're in the very capable hands of the irrepressible Carmen Sanchez.
We are in Adamstown, and this is our first garden from our garden projects. So this garden has been created by the children, and I want to show you what they have done.
Oh, it was tidy enough, but it was this kind of a grass, this area here, there was nothing growing here. So it's kind of a no man's land, and they decided that's why they put it here then, it's something for to do rather than just a green area. Yeah. And it's handy for the school behind this national school, then come in and they use it and they're learning all about food as well.
The whole school is involved, and they come in at half-hour intervals to come and I try and teach them about gardening.
Okay, half-hour intervals?
Yes.
So you're on it?
Oh yeah, it's very busy.
How many kids roughly are coming through?
I think it's about 120 children.
Okay.
So
wow.
Every half hour a new class comes in. What I decided to do was to teach them all the same thing every week. So if we're potting up, then every class will pot up. Because there are a lot of basics everybody needs to know is how to pot up a plant. Doesn't matter if you're junior infant or 6th class or, I don't know, college student. There's still a method to do it and doing it. So that's why I do the same thing.
It's just important to get everyone involved, especially now when sustainability is so important. Like obviously we've seen the temperature rise, you know, everything has just gone crazy at the moment. So it's really important to let kids know how important sustainability is.
Get more back to nature and stuff like that, and especially with lockdown, I think it was gone a bit crazy with what food you're putting into your kids and stuff like that. So this is an opportunity, and you kind of have to kind of make it work. We were off on holidays, staycation, and was just home one day and I was like, okay, everything seems to be ripe here. So we got peas, got onions, got the carrots, and I've actually started to grow my own potatoes, so I had them as well. And I just bought some meat up in the local shop and from the area, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And it felt really good.
I mean, we're not growing this just for the art of growing. You have to eat the food. Food waste is a no-no.
From Adamstown, it's a quick spin up the road to Raheen, a garden that was established a long time ago.
So we are now in Raheen, right?
Okay.
This garden was funded in 2013 by the Irish Heart Foundation. So it's a more mature garden than the ones we saw before.
Okay, great.
So let's see what we have here.
Lovely.
Well, the Raheen project started here with the National Lottery. Actually, that's where it all started, and we started up a little creche and a few other little things started to develop from there, and then the community gardens and all started with DTB and all these other funding agencies. Yeah.
It's been amazing to find a group of people that you can still be active with and still have a time to get around and enjoy a cup of coffee out somewhere or something like that, you know. So, and we do that, yeah.
What's actually crucial in all of these gardens is that they actually develop friendships, and when they're working, they chat, and you open up and you say things you never think of saying, you know, and it actually really helps.
I really enjoy coming here on a Friday. It's the highlight of the week, really. I look forward to it.
Right.
You know, it gives you a good feeling when when you see what you have grown, and to me that's wonderful.
There are 4 gardens in total in the Ark Family Resource catchment area, and in Raheen, the age group, it was interesting talking to them because they're saying, I'd no interest in gardening and why would I go down to the garden, and I'm retired now. But once they came down, the difference it made to their life, that social inclusion. In Adamstown we had the kid, you see Eve running around there and she's learning in school about it. At all ages, these community gardens have a massive impact on people's life outside of the garden.
2 gardens down, And when we get to Clonroche, I ask Carmen why these gardens have been spread throughout a relatively small geographical area.
Absolutely fundamental for the project, because what we detected is that when you are living in rural Ireland, and you saw how isolated our catchment areas are, there's no transport, the access to a variety of food is very limited. So we wanted to introduce people to new vegetables. You saw this morning we were speaking about Swiss chard. Yes, take Swiss chard. This is very nice. You can cook it. So it's new vegetables that people haven't tried yet, and we encourage for them to pick them and to eat them. And we will as well introduce an educational element in the autumn where we show them how to cook it and how to preserve it. So.
It's incredible how mature the gardens in Clonroche and Adamstown are after only one season. The garden in Clonroche is on the site of a well-used sports field in the village that was established with a leader grant a number of years ago, so it already has a high level of community use.
We got the contractors in and they put what's here, which is a fantastic facility for a village. It should be in every village. It's for walking, and especially at this point in time where people are locked up and they could get out, get exercise, meet people, and you're out in the open air.
Can you tell us what you're doing?
Mostly we're picking the weeds out, and the lads are picking off the bigger peas.
What's your name?
Peter Murphy.
Peter, how are you?
Fine.
Yeah. What are you doing here, Peter?
Low.
Right, you were weeding, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, you grow yourself at home, you're telling me?
Yeah.
What do you grow at home?
Beans and potatoes and lettuce and peas.
The whole thing about gardening is you got to get the start right. If the soil isn't right, then nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like we'll have to put it to bed, the garden, and feed it and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So once the harvest is in, then that'll be our next job. These beans we're growing here, these black guys, they're drying beans. So that'll be winter food, as it were. And we won't have to buy a can of beans, we'll have done our own.
And is the drying of that, is that difficult?
Just leave it on the plant, it'll do it for you.
Okay. What I love about this here is that they got together to make this bed a really raised bed, up nice and high, so someone in a wheelchair can come nice and close and still access soil and get that same thrill of planting and growing and then harvesting. The chard is ready to go and the kale is ready to go. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And the kitchen here in Clonroche Community Garden means we can get Carmen to share some of her recipes.
This is a traditional way of preserving the cucumbers. Boiling water here, spoon of salt. Garlic is fundamental. Radish that we grew here in the garden, dill. And we have a secret ingredient here, which is a blackberry leaf. Our cucumbers are being washed already. So that's all. How easy is that? 2-3 days and you have the most beautiful fermented cucumbers ever.
So that's Adamstown, Raheen and Clonroche, and there's still a fourth garden to get to today, and we've already been fed some of those garlic cucumbers, absolutely lovely. All right, let's go. Newbawn, here we come.
This lovely garden here is in Newbawn, and it's a different kind of community garden in that it's more within an established housing estate community.
I hope for the garden that will become more people.
We are struggling a little bit here with numbers, with participant numbers, but we have a plan in place, and our plan is to engage with the schools, bring the children in. So we are starting that as soon as the school starts. And with the child comes the parents as well. So that's our hope anyway. That's our plan.
With a project like this, setting up 3 gardens in such a short amount of time, it's great to have a tutor, and that's Annabelle. She's been with us all day on all of these gardens, and she arrives at these places and she's got a structure in her head, but then she meets the participants and she kind of lets them at it. It's great and it's very empowering.
The main people who do this kind of cherish this, actually nurture this enormously. As you can see, there's a real love gone into this.
The Ark Family Resource Centre has 4 inspirational gardens up and running: Adamstown, Raheen, Clonroche and Newbawn. Community gardens right in the heart of rural villages, serving those that most need them.